Stand by. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the DLLS Cowboys podcast. Today, we grade, review, and preview Cowboys defensive line. We got news on an NFL draft front. We got a new head coach in the NFC East. Let's just do it all, and let's do it. Meow. Happy Thursday on the DLLS Cowboys podcast, presented by our friends at Prize Picks. Where you use the promo code DLLS. You get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. And our friends at Ownwell, ownwell.com/Texas. Don't pay more than you're supposed to for your property taxes. Let Ownwell take care of you. Thanks for being here. We appreciate you guys. We got all sorts of stuff going on in Dallas Cowboy land today. And this isn't technically Cowboy land, but John Harbaugh is the head coach of the New York Giants, or he's going to be. John Harbaugh is going to be the head coach of the New York Football Giants. Which means at the end of the show, we will rank the NFC East head coaches and see where Shoddy stands.
But it is Cowboy land because
I don't care about the Giants.
I understand that.
They don't even matter.
It's not
Not yet.
It's not about the Giants.
Not yet.
It's about the domino.
Not yet.
The thing in
Dart's
Cowboy
gonna knock
land
himself
is
out
finding a defense coordinator.
Okay.
And Harbaugh taking his job means that two potential coordinators for Cowboys could go off the board.
Who?
Was Zach Orr, number one.
Okay.
Was Harbaugh's coordinator in Baltimore.
Yeah.
He interviewed with the Cowboys job.
Yep.
He has a great relationship with Harbaugh. Harbaugh's already said he's taking time mocking offense coordinator.
Yeah.
Zach Orr is talking to Harbaugh this morning and seeing where he fits on that staff. He likes the Cowboys. We'll see how that works out. And also the current
Charlie Bullen.
Charlie what?
Bullen.
I didn't want to make sure I got the name right. Charlie Bullen.
Oh, Chuck.
Charlie Bullen, the current DC in New York.
Yeah. Out of there.
He may or may not be out of there. The people in New York like him. They like the job he did. He certainly did a good job putting the clown suit on the Cowboys in the season finale, right?
Well, the Cowboys don't count.
Okay, I'm just saying. But
Cowboys don't count.
He's in favor. People like the job he did. The Cowboys liked him so much they're bringing him for an interview. He's going to interview us today, I think.
Correct.
So those are two options. So the domino of Harbaugh getting that job could take a potential defense coordinator option off the board for the Cowboys. It always comes back to the Cowboys. Everything that happens in the league comes back to the Cowboys. All these coaching searches come back to the Cowboys.
Well, usually coaching searches don't come back to the Cowboys. Cowboys are usually interviewing one candidate that no one else wants to talk to, and then they're hiring them.
I'm just saying that we're in the car. That's why you had to
What seems to be on par.
You had to make a move because people are competing for these jobs, these openings. So as openings go off the board, also openings for potential DCs go off the board as well. So it comes back to what the Cowboys are looking for. I
appreciate Devery putting this on chill because I definitely started the show without doing the intros, and he's saying, damn, chill, let Jeff intro. I appreciate blaming. I support blaming Clarence. Hey, everybody, my name is Jeff. Oh, now I'm next to former Cowboy wide receiver Jesse Holley.
Oh, Jesse Holley went 77 yards. It must be a reality show.
Next to him is the greatest beat writer in the history of the Cowboys, who really just didn't let me get to the intros. Clarence Hill.
Size, package.
And next to him is second greatest beat writer in the history of the Cowboys, Mr. Ali Jawad.
Prince Ali, handsome as he.
I mean, the chats. We're damned if we do, damned if we don't.
Don't worry about the chat.
They ding us.
I'll fight every one of you.
If we spend 5 or 6 minutes
lollygagging. Yeah, get serious,
they
guys.
Go, get serious, guys. Get right to the football business. And then
have fun here.
We come in and we get right to the football business. And they're like, damn, chill. Let Jeff open the show. So sometimes
I'll fight all of you.
You can't please them all, man. Can't please them all.
Anybody out there, what time's your lunch break? I'll meet you.
Meet me in Temecula.
I'll meet you in Temecula at 12:15. I don't go to the doctor till 1 o'clock today. I got time in between.
Hey, kick him in the knee. Kick him in the knee. When you see him, kick him in the knee. You got a bad knee.
I'm headed up to Dr. Cooper's place for my knee replacement consultation.
World renowned.
Yeah. We're going to check that stuff out. I forgot what I was doing. Katya is our producer today. We send our positive vibes to our standard producer, John, who we love. And I don't know. was about to say enjoy yourself, and that would be incredibly incorrect.
Incredibly insensitive.
We're going to send our positive vibes.
Thoughts and prayers.
To
T's
our,
and P's.
Yeah, T's and P's to our producer, John. Yeah, John Harbaugh is going to be the New York Giants head coach, and that sucks for him. Good for them. Bad for him. What? They're a train wreck. They're awful. That team's so bad. He's going to turn them around, though. They got a quarterback. They got a little bit of a defensive line. All he's got to do is build an offensive line. They'll figure it out. And then the Cowboys will be 4th in the division. That'll be good. We'll be drafted real high next year, so that'll be good. Also, we have news in the NFL draft world. Oregon's quarterback Dante Moore is going back to school. That
also affects the Cowboys.
That's bad
for the Cowboys. It does.
That's bad for the Cowboys, okay? We want 17 quarterbacks going in the top 11 picks, and Dante Moore probably would have gone in the top 11 picks, probably, which would have helped you get another player down to you, and that will now not happen as he is going to go back to school, and I just want him to know that I don't appreciate it. I think that's messed up. I think he's trying to dodge the Jets is what he's doing. He didn't want to go number 2 to the Jets.
Yeah, but see, I mean, we can have a whole conversation.
He watched Zach Wilson do it, and he was like, I'm out on that plan.
But let's have some foresight. He don't think the Jets are going to be top 3 next year?
Maybe.
Good point.
Well,
yeah,
I'll actually.
You can't dodge the Jets. It's inevitable.
So I'll take him. I'll take Dante. I'll take Dante Moore at his word because there are people fighting about this on the internet, and I don't know how you try to tell somebody that the decision they made for them is stupid, but there's a lot of that. But basically what he said is, I want to give myself the best chance to succeed in the NFL as I can, which I think involves more experience at the college level. And now at the college level, you can also pocket some millions of dollars while you do that. So is there a chance that he doesn't have a great year and suddenly he's not even a first-round pick anymore? Sure there is.
Right.
But he's going to get millions of dollars while trying to do what he believes is best for him and getting more experience.
And
so
he,
good
and
for
he
him.
actually might dodge the Jets in next year because next year's a quarterback draft.
Yeah, because that means he's going to go lower.
Like next
he
year,
might go lower.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, that's fine.
Lower would be good. He'd dodge the Jets.
Right. If he does dodge the Jets, means he's going to go lower.
If he goes top 10.
But when you're top 2 and then you end up as a 5th quarterback taking, you're losing. But listen.
I mean, he can play himself into being a 5th-round pick. It's possible.
He has every right to go back and better himself because we all know you starts as a quarterback in college impact your play in the NFL, and it's all about long-term viability, but you also want to get the clock started to that second contract. And as a top 2 pick, I think it's like 40 or 50 million guaranteed money.
Yeah, you get the signing bonus.
This year, number 2 pick, Travis Hunter got 46 and some change.
Yeah, as a quarterback, he's going to get more than that next year. So 50 million in guaranteed money. So whatever he's getting, NIL ain't going to come close to that. So stop with this. He's going to get paid in college. No, he's not getting 50 million.
No, you don't need 50 million.
You don't need 50. I want 50 million. Okay?
If you told me.
Do you want 50 million?
I like it.
I
like it.
I'll also.
50 million.
I'll take 6 too.
I'll take 6.
I'll take 6.
50 and 6. 50 and 6.
If you told me 50 million to do what I don't want to do or 6 to do what I want to do, I'll take 6.
I'm going to take 50.
I'm going to take 50.
Why would you want to be unhappy?
How do you know you're not? Who says you're going to be unhappy?
He said it. He said, I want to go back to school.
Stop it. Listen, he has every right. I'm just talking from a financial standpoint. You're never going to get that money back, okay? $50 million. There's no guarantee. If you're not a top 2 quarterback next year, you're going to make less, okay? You're not going to get that $50 million. And if you hit, then you get the clock started for your next contract. That's the only financial thing. He has every right.
Well, he may be thinking I could go number 2 to the Jets. They ruined my career, and I get my $50 million, and then I'm a wash out the rest of the way. Or I get ready to go to the NFL. I go to a better situation. I make my $55 million. It was delayed by 1 year, and then I make $500 million because I have a good NFL career. Let the man live.
I said he has every right. Did I open up and say
you attacked that young man?
I was giving you the.
Or he ends up like Sam Darnold, sucks on the Jets, then goes to other teams. Or he ends up back-to-back 14-win seasons.
Or he ends up
and if Sam Darnold had gone to a better situation, then maybe Sam Darnold has another $200 million in his
Or he
pocket.
ends up like Zach Wilson.
We don't know.
Or, what's the guy from LSU?
Jamarcus Russell.
Okay,
that's a whole different thing. That's a whole different thing.
I think that was the purple drink.
We got a lot of,
Yeah.
But the real news is the Cowboys are back in the interviewing process. Who they had yesterday after the show? They had 3 guys to the list.
Yeah, we talked about Christian Parker, the Eagles pass game coordinator, DB coach. We mentioned Charlie Bull and the Giants interim defensive coordinator, and then DeMarcus Covington, the Packers D-line coach. DeMarcus Covington was a DC with the Patriots in 2024, was hired by the Packers this past season. And he had the fortunes of coaching a guy that we don't want to name on the show anymore. So.
He who must not be named.
and the thing about Covington, which must be noted as everything relates to everything else, Jeff Hafley, the current Packers DC, betting favorite to be the Miami head coach.
Okay.
So if he goes to Miami as head coach, if it's a betting favorite, according to my people in Green Bay, Covington will be a guy they will consider to be their DC.
Oh, Covington's gonna get up out of there. He don't want to hang out with Parsons and Diggs.
But there's a chance he also could go to Miami.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's a guy that's on the Cowboys list that could impact the Cowboys search if another coach gets hired.
I think with a lot of these names, just because I'm not all that familiar with them, I have a sneaking suspicion. You ready for some Recky Specky?
Like a little Recky Specky on Thursday.
You could call it Gannon or you could call it Jim Leonard. Either Jonathan Gannon or Jim Leonard, two of the names probably towards the top of the Cowboys DC search. I think some of these names are talking to him about, hey, would you like to do this under this guy? Like,
position coaches.
Yeah, like everybody may not actually have a chance to be the defensive coordinator, but like, hey, what do you think about working with this guy? I don't think they think that these 9 guys all have a shot at their DC job. I think they might be looking at building the staff. That's all I'm saying.
Why would I come here to be a linebackers coach?
Yeah, I guess none of these are position coaches, are they?
For a team that has no linebackers.
Why would I come here to be I hear you, and I've seen that out there, but why would I come here to be a position coach? Under these guys who've never done it before.
You would come here and get the same titles. You'd be a passing game or running game coordinator. You'd be
It's a lateral move. Most of these guys are already under contract.
Assistant head coach. No, that's not an upgrade.
Yeah, most of the guys have jobs.
Yeah.
And so to come here, they'd have to get a promotion.
Well, then I actually appreciate
coming to be a linebackers coach.
Then I appreciate what they're doing. Because they're talking to a ton of people, and I appreciate that.
And I know a lot of people. They're just interviewing those guys for the Rooney Rule. Well,
they surpassed that already.
That's a lot of Rooney.
They've got 6 guys who are minorities they've already interviewed.
Yeah, they surpassed
5 or 6 guys. So, that may be the case, and they still end up with Jim Leonard or JG, Jonathan Gannon. But this is not necessarily a Rooney Rule thing. This is shoddy actually doing homework. And whether you hire those guys or not, you're getting feedback on guys and their philosophies. When you talk to Dante Moore, you're getting feedback on Brian Flores' philosophies and scheming that you can use at some point.
Well, I do. I appreciate it then because, you're right. There's not a lot of guys on this list or any guys on this list. Well, I guess Banda is a safeties coach. But, a lot of these guys have too big of titles to be interviewing to just kind of fill out a staff. So, what I will say is kudos to Jerry Jones, my Hall of Fame general manager, for allowing the head coach to do what you're supposed to do when you're hiring a coach. And this is rare for the Dallas Cowboys. You run through 9 different people, see if somebody blows you away, see if somebody's got great ideas, see if there's a guy that you go, yeah, look at there. We found something. I appreciate them for doing a coaching search.
Because we know Jerry didn't do that with the head coaching job last year,
or
right?
the DC job.
Or the DC job
last year. Coaching jobs.
Or the OC job before that, or the head coach job before that, or the head coach job before that.
That's why this has Shotty's fingerprints all over it.
That's interesting that Shotty has that poll. I'm glad. But if they go 7-10, everybody's out of here.
Then Jerry's right back to making the decision himself.
Yeah, you always look forward to that. Let's knock out some super chats. I saw we had some of those here in the first segment. Andrew's in the super chat. He said, "What are the Cowboys like post Jerry? Worse? ? No, there's no chance they're worse. Worst case, they're the exact same. And Steven runs the same kind of cheap organization that hires friends and family. But I would think that he does not do things the same way that Jerry does. I would think that you're going to be better off. Vance, guys, you're forgetting one very important reason why Moore would go back. The Jets. That's what I'm talking about. Chris is in there. Looks like Giants interested in Jim Leonard, too.
I didn't see. I didn't see anything like that.
I haven't seen anything on that either.
I didn't see anything like that. I think they might be referencing that Ricky Scoops, that little dog.
Scoopy said something?
Yeah, but
Scoops McGee.
Well, the thing about they can't talk to him now until he's out of the playoffs, right? Until next week.
Not in person.
Can you not? You can Zoom him, right?
I think but they were supposed to do that this week or last week.
Yeah,
that's what the Cowboys already. That's why the Cowboys did it when they want to buy.
Yeah.
Okay, so
hopefully we sabotage the Broncos. He's a little distracted.
What was it, Dan Quinn?
When Dan Quinn laid down in the playoffs because he was busy interviewing. Mo Cow is in the super chat. Dante Moore could suck and come back senior, though. When is he named? Junior? Yeah, you can just go play a fifth year. Yeah, why not? Coming up next on the DLS Cowboys podcast, we're grading, we're reviewing, we're previewing each position group each day. Today, we move on to the defensive line. That's next on the DLS Cowboys podcast. Let's take a second to talk about our friends at Mack Weldon. Look, what you got to do is you got to find you a brand, right? You find a brand for your clothes that you know is the jam, that works for you, that's comfy, good looking, versatile, all the things. And that's our friends at Mack Weldon, the new Ace line, inspired by their best-selling sweatpants. You like sweatpants. Don't lie to yourself. You like them, right? You like how comfortable they are. What if all the things you wore, even your nicer clothes, kind of felt like your sweatpants? You had that sort of comfort. That's what you get with our friends at Mack Weldon. Upgrade your collection for this year with new bomber jackets, half-zip sweats, crew necks, and more at MackWeldon.com. And you can get 20% off your first order of $125 or more with the code ALLCITY, the Ace collection. Comfortable anywhere. MackWeldon.com. Get 20% off that first order of $125 or more with the promo code ALLCITY, ALLCITY, at MackWeldon.com. Code is ALLCITY. Also, I want to talk to you about my favorite store in the DFW Metroplex. That is Wild Fork Foods, Meat, and Seafood Market. If you were buying meat at the grocery store, stop it. Cut it out. Go see my friends at Wild Fork. It's absolutely incredible. I don't care what you want. You want to go get steak? I like to go get the skirt steak. They got pre-marinated, 2 different kinds, the chimichurri and the regular pre-marinated. Both are delicious. But you want to get some Japanese Wagyu? You want an ostrich? You want some rabbit? It doesn't matter what you want. Our friends at Wild Fork Foods have you covered. Over 700 items, 500 at under $10 a pound. All sorts of beef, poultry, seafood, pork. And if you want to make a complete meal there, no problem. I also get my green beans there. I get my mac and cheese there. All my different sides. It's our friends at Wild Fork Foods, Meat and Seafood Market. They're absolutely the best. Frozen is fresher. They're organic, grass-fed ground beef, the 85% lean. You know what I'm talking about. $6 a pound. That's a pretty darn good price right there. Try them out at one of their 9 area DFW locations. That's my friends at wildforkfoods.com. All right, we've been grading and then reviewing and previewing different position groups for the Cowboys, how they did this year, what they're going to do about it going into next year. And today is the defensive line. So we've graded them all, and we'd like to congratulate the defensive line as they are the first position group to get grades from each of us that actually exist on most grading charts.
Yep.
Most of the position groups that we've done was F, F minus, PH, and Z.
Yep.
So congratulations to the defensive line, which was dominant for the Cowboys this year. What?
You guys just moved up one grade.
Yeah, I moved up from an F minus to a D. F
would
minus.
D plus.
Yeah, I had F minus for a lot of the positions. I had a D. Jesse had a D plus, which is creeping up towards a C. Because I just want to be real clear of what I think. Yeah. Like an F, I feel like gets the point across, but an F minus, I borrowed that from my friend Mike Bassick. When he would get real mad at something in sports, he would always just yell F minus. And that really resonated with me. And so most of the Cowboys position groups on defense to me got an F minus, and the defensive line got a D. And I would like to congratulate them because as long as it's not your major, that will pass. The D passes if it's not your major.
Okay.
You need a C if it's in your major. At least that's what I'm told. I don't know. I flunked out of college. I'm a sophomore still. I've never had a bad professor. I've never blamed my misfortunes on others. It was 100% my fault. Oh, Eberflus.
I see what you're saying.
We did have a bad professor. Mm. That is true. But, yeah, I'm not going higher than a D even for the defensive line. Can't do it.
How about I for incomplete? Because they got rid of Micah Parsons.
He's not here. I'm not grading him.
That's bad on the university.
Like, if you want me to and you want everybody to, if you want people who get mad in the chat, you know what Micah got this year? Micah got an A. Sucks he got hurt, but
he got an A.
Micah was Micah.
All-pro.
He did what he does.
All-pro.
And if he were here, you wouldn't have had a terrible defense. You'd have had a bad defense probably.
Yeah, but can you get a key stop in the fourth quarter? Like Green Bay could have used Micah in the fourth quarter against Chicago.
Well, Micah just proved the same thing he proved here every year. Like, we gave the stat over and over again. When he played on the field his whole career here, they were the number 1 defense in the league, EPA per play. When he was on the sideline, not in the game in that moment, they were number 32. Best versus worst with Micah. Green Bay, once he got hurt, became the worst defense in football the rest of the way. Like, the dude changes things, and you didn't have him.
Yeah.
So he doesn't matter because you didn't have him. And I can't give him too high a grade. Like, I think Quinnen Williams played good football. I think Quinnen Williams is an incredible football player. But even with Quinnen Williams, Osa, Kenny Clark, Solomon Thomas, like, you look at those names and you say that's an awesome defensive tackle group. They got run over.
Still.
We had a 2 or 3 week stretch where we thought, oh my goodness, look at that. We fixed the run defense and this thing's got a chance. On the whole, over 17 or even post Quinnen trade, they weren't good. Individually, you could watch them and be like, yeah, that's a good player. Even with those guys, they weren't good. I'm not giving them a C. I can't believe you let them pass. I'm offended by what the beat writers did today. I'm offended.
Defend y'all C's.
I don't know how you give them a C.
Defend your C's.
We had no pass rush. The edge group was an F-.
We were doing the defensive line. If you want to do how the whole defense graded, yes, it was an F. But we were doing defensive line.
Look at that. Go bring that back up, Katya. That's amazing.
The
quick pressure. The pressure that matters in the NFL, that you actually win
so
quickly.
I would give the defensive tackles a B, and I would give the defensive ends, Defensive tackles don't get a B?
Absolutely not.
The defensive
Absolutely
tackles,
not.
the 3 defensive tackles don't get a B.
Absolutely not.
One made the Pro Bowl.
That's nice.
And he was there for 3 weeks.
Lots of people make the Pro Bowl. I think Quinnen's a really good player.
I don't do that.
I think Quinnen's a really good player. Quinnen's a great player. I think he's one of the best defensive tackles in football.
With 8 sacks, 6 sacks.
6. There's a Rock who had some promise along the way, too.
Yeah, sure. Tell me the edge players got better than an F.
He's on it.
Say it.
Clowney didn't get an F for his
He didn't. He was the best of the best. He was a C.
They're not F.
And everybody else was an F. No, I can't know.
Don't try to make me out to be negative, okay? I gave him a C. These guys.
You got to have that dissertation, right?
These guys right here.
Right? You got to be able to defend your
These
statement.
guys right here.
But
negative, messy.
You haven't
these guys right here.
Statement.
The defensive tackles.
Those $60 million a D tackle got run over.
Defensive tackles got a B.
And they got run over.
The defensive ends got a D. I got a C.
Okay, I mean, I'm not gonna fight.
I got a C.
I'm not gonna fight you.
I didn't say it was a high C.
I'm not gonna. Well, that would be a C plus.
That'd be a C
or
a drink.
I didn't say it was high C. Got a C.
But if as far as the defensive tackle group, at least going forward, you go, we're fine. Like, and maybe really, really good.
But if the linebackers could have a pulse, like we could blitz you guys could feel some holes.
The guys you gave a B are supposed to do that for them. You're supposed to make their life easy.
They make the life of the linebackers easy. The linebackers didn't choose right home. We talked about this. It ain't the other way around.
Your job is to make
the line is make the linebacker life
easy.
easier, not the other way around. If you had a linebacker that can blitz the quarterback, that can help get some pass rush, if they blitz the linebackers more, or the linebackers can fill holes and stop the run, we may be talking about a whole different thing for the defense. But the back end was so bad, it brought down the play of the defensive tackles.
Well, we just saw
because the defensive tackles consistently graded well. They graded higher than the C. Okay, if you look at all, they consistently week in and week out, they graded well. So what was bleeding them? What was bleeding down the defense? It wasn't defensive tackle play. So to say it's wrong to give defensive tackles a B, how?
I just think that's too high. Like, I think pretending that they did a great job is disingenuous.
Didn't say great. Did I say great?
No.
So you don't put words in my mouth.
Well, what does high mean? You said they graded high. They graded high.
I said a B. I said I gave him a B. I said the defensive tackles got a B. Didn't I say that?
You did.
Okay.
And I said that's too high.
I'm just saying that if you look at, by all accounts, because we always talk about, K9 is the 59th ranked linebacker in PFL, right? We use this ranking.
Don't use those rankings.
Okay, that's fine. We've used it to bash
J.J.
K9.
Watt and I demand you don't use those.
We used it to bash K9, okay? So
I don't use it to bash K9. I tell you why he wasn't good.
Okay, I understand that.
Need his
But if you look at the grades for the defensive tackles consistently all season, they've been very high.
Yeah,
they've been among the best. Even before Quinnen Williams, you look at Kenny Clark's week in and week out grades, they've been high. So what is bleeding? It ain't been their play that bled that defense.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. They were the best part of the defense. I just don't want to pretend that they were good. Like they were the best.
I'm not saying they were Reggie White. I'm not saying they were doing that. I'm not even coming there.
Well, if you said that, I'd be so offended. I would be so offended.
I'm not
Did
saying
they accuse you of that? Saying somebody was Reggie White when they got here? Kenny Clark? Didn't they call you that?
I think Quinnen was good. I think Osa and Kenny were okay. I think Solomon Thomas was okay. But I do think that man for man, like that's part of the reason that I'm glad you're getting a new defensive coordinator is because I don't think anybody played as well or better than we think they are. Osa's supposed to be a better player than what he put on tape this year. I think Kenny's supposed to be a better player than what he put on tape this year. And those will be your guys next year. And I do think you can feel really good about it. I feel really good about the defensive line group going into next year.
I don't have it out for Osa, and I want to say that respectfully because I don't.
As I get ready to kill him.
As I get ready to
I don't.
Listen,
I don't have it. It ain't that personal, dog.
but
with all due respect, it ain't
Not
that
personal.
personal. But let's get personal.
just watch your words.
I like Osa.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
I think we saw exactly what Osa is.
What is that?
What he was this year.
I mean, he wasn't even the good pass rusher that we're used to.
I think Osa, and he's not the only one among others that benefited from that name that we shall not name. And when you don't have that guy that requires the complete attention of the offensive line and the calls and the shifts and everything, I think we saw.
Yeah.
We think we saw who he was. And I'm not saying that's a bad player, but I think we're looking for something greater from Osa. And I think that was attached to someone else. I think the greater of him was attached to the play and greatness of someone else. Now, unless you decide to bring one of those players back in, I think what you saw with Osa is who Osa is.
I do
I'm Captain Messi.
You are Captain Messi. I do like that Jerry's like, you can't give too much money to one player, but then he'll give $20 million to the third D tackle while we're really pinching our pennies here. But yeah, so the group that has to drastically improve is the defensive ends, the edges, whatever you want to call them. And Jadeveon Clowney's a free agent. Donovan Ezeraku will be here, and I'm very confident if he's your third best guy. I'm probably okay if he's your second best guy, depending on how great your first best guy is. But even if it's like, if they bring Clowney back and Ezeraku and that's your two best, I still think you're going to be bad at that spot. There has to be more than that. And we may not even have Clowney back. He might have a real market. And when people have a real market, Cowboys don't tend to play in that.
Yeah.
And so I do have my top five. I like to back end these things with my top. And there's nobody else basically on the roster at defensive end, right? Everybody else is gone.
Everybody's gone. Yeah.
Everybody's gone.
Fowler, Sam.
Right now your team is Ezeraku. That's
James Houston free agent too.
Right. Ezeraku is your defensive end.
Clowney's a free agent.
And so here's my top five going into the draft is the Cowboys will have the 12th pick and the 20th pick. And just fair warning, 1 and 2 are going to go back and forth. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm stuck. David Bailey at Texas Tech is the better pass rusher of these top two guys. Ruben Bain has pass rush ability and is an absolute monster in the run game, and David Bailey is not that, although he is improved over the course of the year, and he's technically big enough that maybe he could be a solid run defender. But I think this team desperately needs somebody that can do, we showed it earlier, the quick pressure. You want quick pressure? You want David Bailey. That dude is the offensive tackle. Good luck. Yeah. If it's 3rd and 7, I own you. Whereas Ruben Bain's like, I might run through your throat. Yeah. I like Bain better as a complete player. I like Bailey better as a pass rusher.
How big is Bailey?
He's probably 250. 6'3", 6'4", 250, something like that. And Bain's like 275, and he's shorter.
If you want the dynamics of your defensive mentality to change, you want Ruben Bain.
Yeah. Oh, he's a monster.
Like if you want that thing to change,
he's a monster.
You want Ruben Bain.
And then Keldrick Falk is a guy that I don't even think I really like for the Cowboys. He's at Auburn, and he's like 6'5", 285, and he's going to be the guy where when you talk about draft stuff, you can talk about production, you can talk about the player, and you can talk about the tools. He's 6'5", 285, monster against the run game, and despite the physical gifts he has, was never a good pass rusher in college. But teams are going to look at it and be like, how can that not rush the passer? Look at the way he moves and the way he's built. That should be a pass rusher. And so he will go high despite the fact that he's never been a good pass rusher yet.
Because everybody ain't Myles Garrett.
Right.
He's built like Myles Garrett.
Right.
And everybody don't turn out to be Myles Garrett. Who's the kid that that's from Miami that's been in 100 teams that was in Jacksonville this year? The big guy. Not Jack. He was in Arizona this year, but he was at Atlanta last year.
Calais Campbell.
Campbell.
Played for 100 years.
Was he ever the best at what he was? But he's just a big mofo that can play and perform.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that, like he was never the best at anything.
Right.
But he's a big mofo.
Yeah.
And he played.
And the other two names that I had on my top 5, just real quick, number 4 was Cassius Howell, the Texas A&M pass rusher, and he's another version, kind of a little smaller version of the David Bailey lane, where if the right tackle and the tight end decide they're blocking Cassius Howell on a run play, he's going to the 7th row. But if it's 3rd and 8 and he turns the corner, that first step, the bend, the explosiveness, if you want to rush the passer, you want Cassius Howell. And number 5 is Akeem Messidor, the other Miami defensive end, who is 6'5",
He's going to be really good.
He is, and he's going to help today.
Yeah. He's not going to be a superstar. He's going to be a 10-year player.
Yeah.
And in fact, he's going to be like a guy maybe that I'm talking about next in KBBU and a guy like Danielle Hunter.
What hurts him is he'll be a 25-year-old rookie. And you're like, how are you – like you just started kind of dominating at the age of 24? I got dudes who are 20 that are dominating. And so people are going to gravitate to that more. But the player is very good. Coming up next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast, it is time for KBBU, No Ball Better University. Jesse Holley's going to get us ready to see a defense that we want the Cowboys to look like.
This should be the model.
That's next. Friends, let's take a moment and talk about my friends at Ownwell. Ownwell.com/Texas is the website that you need to go to because what happens in this world? Your mortgage goes up and you're like, what's going on here? The answer is usually, my property tax went up. And guess what? Guess who's not qualified to figure out how to handle this? Who's not going to a hearing or doesn't know what paperwork to fill out? Me, which is why I used my friends at Ownwell, as did Jesse Holley. We got hooked up last year. It's your turn now. Go to ownwell.com/Texas because what they can do is protest your property taxes and make sure you're not paying more than you have to. Then guess what? Now you're paying less. Now you can go do something to improve your home, and now your home can be worth more because you're not paying more because our friends at Ownwell got you hooked up. It's ownwell.com/Texas. They do everything for you. You don't pay anything up front. You don't pay them anything unless they save you money on those property taxes. Save time and money on your property taxes with our friends at Ownwell. Only pay if you save. Go to ownwell.com/Texas to learn more. ownwell.com/Texas. Also, hit up our friends at Qualis. If you've had a storm recently, guess who's going to take care of you? Qualis Roofing and Construction. It's our buddies. We love our friends over there at Qualis. You were hit by a recent storm, don't wait. They offer free storm damage assessments. They can help you guide through an insurance process. If you schedule a free roof inspection with our friends at Qualis, guess what? They're going to get you a free DLLS t-shirt. If you replace a roof with our friends at Qualis Roofing, they'll let you choose between a free Blackstone grill or a Traeger smoker. Why? Because getting a new roof should come with a little extra sizzle. Our friends at Qualis Roofing are absolutely the best. Mention DLLS when you call them. It does help our show. Call or go online, schedule a free roof inspection, and don't forget to ask about your free grill potentially. QualisGC.com or search Qualis Roofing and Construction, QUALIS, or call them 817-500-9008 and get started today. All right, get up in here, everybody. It's the DLS Cowboys podcast, and it is time to step into KBBU, No Ball Better University, with your professor, Jesse Holley.
Class is now in session. Come on over, come on in to No Ball Better University. Presented to you by Qualis Roofing and Constructions. Our good people over there. If you need a roof, hit up Qualis and let them take care of you. And they are bringing gifts. So all of my good students come to the front of the classroom. All of you riffraffs and you wahoos to the back of the classroom or get the hell out. Or if you're like Clarence, you just be on your phone all day long while I'm giving this lesson.
Yeah.
You get the hell out too.
Yeah.
Right? You all can get the hell out of here while we present this thing. The Cowboys.
What if for one day, no matter what we're doing, we stop the show immediately when he looks at his phone?
We
just
never
go,
get a
what
show.
are you doing?
We never get a show.
But just one time. You think we could get
What if one day
Get him
we do a
off?
show where he doesn't have his phone?
What if we
Can he
took
make
his phone from him?
Impossible.
Can he make it?
Impossible.
What if we took his phone?
Impossible.
Ali, would you promise to make sure that you were on top of any potential
I
breaking
gotcha.
news if we took his phone?
Yeah.
Yes.
Impossible.
We're gonna get him one of them pouches.
Yeah, he would break out in hives if he didn't have it. Yeah, he would be like a crackhead. But as the Cowboys are in search of their new defensive coordinator, for the longest, the Cowboys have also been in search of a defensive identity. What will the Cowboys be? How will they function? How will they operate? And so as we're looking at teams that are currently in the playoffs and we're saying, man, is there some sort of blueprint, a picture, a model that the Cowboys that potentially could look at and say, we want to be like that. We want to have a team that looks like that defensively. We want to have a group of men who are on the side of the ball that we actually can be proud of. The Cowboys have not marched out a defense that you can be proud of in some time now. But I want us to go look at the Houston Texans, the D'Amico Ryan-led Houston Texans, and just how that defense is brought about. Now, the Cowboys up front, and Kata, you can pull up the first picture. When you look at what the Houston Texans does, the Cowboys up front, they already have a good start.
That's some good drawing.
Okay, they got a good start. But here's why I put these drugs around, because the Cowboys, right now, you have Quinnen Williams, you have Kenny Clark, and you have Osa Odigizua. So you kind of got a base. You know that you have those three defensive tackles up front that you can go off of. What the Cowboys now need to go and get is players that people fear. Okay? The Cowboys need to come into games on the defensive side of the ball with players that the opposing team fears. On the left, you have right there Danielle Hunter. While Danielle Hunter may not be talked about as a star, Danielle Hunter in his career, it's about 130 sacks. Like, Danielle Hunter is a damn good football player that when you look at him, he doesn't get the star-studded accolades like his counterpart in Will Anderson Jr. That's the drawing on the right. Pull that picture back up. The guy on the right is Will Anderson Jr.
That's their Micah right there.
That's their Micah. That's when he gets off the bus. That left tackle is having trouble sleeping at night because he knows that I have to go up against Will Anderson Jr. And then the guy in the middle linebacker is Al-Shahir, right? Azeez Al-Shahir. And Azeez Al-Shahir is the heartbeat of this defense. He is the attitude of this defense. He is their Mike Tyson. He's the guy that's going to play fast, physical, aggressive. He will go to the line, and every now and again, he will cross it. I don't know if he actually needs that elbow brace because he's had it on for a very long time. Don't think his elbow still hurts, but it's kind of like the whole Rip Hamilton in The Mask.
Part of his character.
It's a part of his character.
He's wearing armor
right now. That is, when he puts that on, he goes into the mode of being that middle linebacker. So the Cowboys, in their search of building a defense, needs to figure out, how can I go get some guys that people fear? We talked about Reuben Bain Jr. Reuben Bain Jr. is a attitude changer. He's the type of guy you put on your football team, and when he lines up, offensive tackles goes, oh man, I got to deal with this bleepity bleep for 4 quarters. Don't want to have to deal with it, right? All right, so next shot. So now when we look at this, you already see ball is snapped, and who do I say you have to worry about? They've backed Al-Shahir out of there, but all of a sudden now, you know why you don't see Will Anderson? Because he's damn near on the quarterback's back. On the other side, they had to chip with the tight end and then allowed Danielle Hunter to work off, again, the left tackle and the left guard in this particular picture right here. The back picks up the middle linebacker. But as you already seen, once the ball is snapped, Will Anderson Jr. is off that edge, and he is around that corner at the quarterback already. Next slide. And then it's a meeting at the quarterback. This is what you want your defense to have. You want your defense to have consistently meeting at the quarterback. They should have powwow, dance-off, celebrations, meetings, or what have you at the quarterback position. So what the Cowboys are looking at, I want to have a ferocious defensive front. I want to have a guy off the edge that gets around that corner quick. I want to have a guy like Danielle Hunter, who is an established guy, who is consistent at what he does. And then I want to have my other three guys that we already talked about. You have your Quinnen and your Osa and your Clark. So now the back end of this thing for the Cowboys is you got to find some cover corners. This is a passing league. If you can't if you can't defend the pass in this league, then
you're done.
You're cooked.
Yeah.
As the young people say, you're cooked. So I'm not saying that we have to go out there and find 14 Deion Sanders, but you need to find a group of men who can go out there and cover. So this first clip right here. All right, see what we have right here? It's man across the board. All right, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. These guys are up in the face of these receivers, as you can see. And then there's safety. This is the thing that's in the middle of the field who you understand and know that he can cover the middle of the field. And guess what, guys? He's back. He has his eyes on the quarterback. But as you see, that there's man coverage across the board, and they have some really good corners up there. Of course, you have the all-pro and one of the best cornerbacks in the league in Derek Stingley Jr. You also have Lassiter, and then you have your nickel cornerback in Jalen Petrie.
Baylor Bears, stand up.
Dog.
Petrie is a dog.
Dog, right? This guy he's found in the second round is an absolute dog. All right. So now, if I have those guys up front, that I know is going to be able to get to the quarterback, when I get a chance to now have to cover, and I have some dogs in that secondary, press to the next clip, Kati. You go right here. Boom. Quarterback's at the top of his drop. At the bottom, you see that right there. Will Anderson around the corner, applying pressure on the quarterback. Lockdown, cover. Safety, he's out, he's back. Next slide. As you can see, everything is locked up. He's covered. He's locked. Meeting at the quarterback. That's safety. I am deeper than the deepest. No one gets behind me.
You firing shots at the Cowboys safeties?
No. I'm just saying, if you're going to be in coverage, understand the coverage that you're supposed to be in. If we're in man coverage, then I need to be deeper than the deepest. I shouldn't be up in the action. I should be back at the last line of defense. And then you have your cornerbacks locked up on the outside, those rush guys rushing up front. If the Cowboys are looking for a blueprint, if they're looking for someone or something to say, who can we mimic, copy, become like, it will be the Houston Texans. Now, I don't know how Deron Bland will heal. I hope that he heals well in this offseason with the foot injury. But the Cowboys have to go and find another quarterback.
3 corners, 2 safeties, 2 linebackers.
I'm just saying, this is what you have to be able to build. So you have to attack this thing in free agency, right? You got to attack this thing in the draft, because the Houston Texans right now, they're in the position that they're in, not because their offense was great, not because they had this prolific offense, but because this defense was able to stand up and stand on their heads week in and week out to get them in this position. They should have lost last week. C.J. Stroud was awful, but this defense stood up. And I mean, they answered the bell every single time.
Aaron Rodgers did not have a good time.
He was awful.
No,
could
not
you
having a good time.
imagine what life would be like if you had something similar to this on the defensive side with what you have offensively? Yes. I mean, you're talking about 14 plus wins in the season. You're talking about going into the playoffs at the number 1 seed. You're talking about truly being a contender. So as the Cowboys are on their search for a defensive coordinator, I hope whoever they bring in will be able to look at a defense like this and go, I want to be like that in a year or two.
Listen, great job.
Talking to the mic.
Great job, Jesse. As I was paying attention, great job.
See how good that was?
I always pay attention. I always got a good. I always got. First of all, I always got a good ear. Okay?
I got a good
ear.
I
put the phone away. One reason I was looking at my phone because I'm always thinking about the show, and I was thinking about the Texans, and I've been thinking about the Texans and how they built this defense. D'Amico had a quote that I was looking for. I'm not going to quote him correctly because y'all don't want me looking at my phone.
Correct.
But he said, when I look at my defense line, we have 4 Tasmanian devils.
Yeah.
Okay? Mm-hmm. That's what you want. 4 Tasmanian devils. That's the mentality. That's why I was thinking about Bame. I was thinking last thing. Tasmania, you want that physical.
There are other DNs too. They got a safety. They got a corner.
Yeah.
Like Miami's defense plays like Houston's defense.
You want the attitude.
Like you can't play on this defense if
you're
not a psycho.
And one other thing to note, as you talked about that defense, you talked about up front, you didn't mention the tackle. You mentioned them in. Okay? Yeah. And as I've been saying, you got Micah. Get somebody to run with him. Okay? He needs another dog. You went and got Danielle Hunter to run with your other guy.
Will Anderson, yep.
You know what I'm saying? You need 2 dogs. You don't get rid of Micah. You go get somebody to run with him.
Right.
They got somebody to run with Will Anderson, okay? Yeah. They got a Danielle Hunter who is on track for the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
Look at his numbers
absolutely.
and he can still play. And then you got the middle linebacker. But you need guys to run with them. Yes, the defense line is good. We can't name so we got to score a touchdown, but you really can't name the defense tackles on Houston. The guys on the end, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they're the difference makers.
And I bet Will Anderson, when they're able to extend him, they do.
Yeah.
And they don't milk it out and then say they don't have enough money and then trade him. I bet they actually keep their best players. That would probably be a good first step. Coming up next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast, we got a new head coach in the NFC East. Let's put these coaches in order. And I might have I think we'll do a mock draft roundup tomorrow. Ali's rounded them up.
Correct.
But I got a big one that came out today that I just want to say, yes.
Okay.
Yes. Next. All right, everybody, I want you out there to sign up to be a diehard for me, all right? Go over there, and there's a QR code that's on your screen, and when you sign up to be a diehard, you get all sorts of hookups, which we do appreciate, or you should appreciate. You should appreciate. We appreciate you signing up to be a diehard, and then you can appreciate all the things you get.
Yes, from being a diehard.
In exchange for
There's
being.
a lot of appreciation going on.
All appreciation.
And caveats.
Today's an appreciation Thursday. There's no caveats now.
No
now
caveat.
we're being a diehard. No caveats.
No caveats in there.
No caveats.
What about you get the extra shirt? Is that not a caveat?
That's not a caveat. That's a bonus.
The Brandon Bills.
See, I feel like a caveat is like a but.
Yeah.
No,
a caveat.
But
this
it's on top of it.
Yeah,
okay?
you get all sorts of bonuses when you sign up to be a diehard. First of all, you're supporting us, which I know a lot of you don't want to do. So I have to talk you into it a different way. But you do get free. You get free stuff. You get discounts.
They don't want to support. Why they call you Claire's Rack?
I don't know what you're talking about, man. Don't do that.
Rack? I thought it was rat.
See,
I thought it was a rat too.
Why y'all doing this? Why y'all give energy to BS?
If people don't know who it is, they're not getting any energy.
But you're giving energy.
I think that it is hilarious when content creators tee off on any of us. There's just one that decided that Clarence is the worst and the enemy and whatever, which is obviously incredibly incorrect, but still hilarious. And I like fun stuff. And if you like fun stuff, sign up to be a diehard, and you'll have all of the insight you need on all of your favorite DFW sports teams. You get a free T-shirt from our merch store when you sign up. The Stay Shiesty's still in there. Take advantage of it before Jerry starts talking about pie and trades him. But yeah, go ahead and make sure you get that now. 88 Club one should be safe, because Jerry's not trying to take that cap hit for trading a guy.
No.
So you'll be safe with that T-shirt. You also get discounts on merch and events when you're signed up to be a diehard. And on top of that, you get into our Discord, where it's just a whole bunch of other diehards hanging out, including the on-air staff here, and we have ourselves a time. Sign up to be a diehard, or else, which of course is not a threat. We'd like to welcome John Harbaugh into the NFC East. He's going to be the head coach of the New York Giants coming up this next year. So it is possible that now they have a quarterback, a good head coach. Their whole thing is just they can't put together an offensive line to save their lives.
For so long.
Once they put Scadaboo's leg back on, they might have that going. Now, there's also a chance that their quarterback ends his own career.
Yes.
I mean, he's got a lot.
Yeah.
There is a chance of that.
Himself, yeah.
But they may have a quarterback and a head coach. When Andrew Thomas is healthy, they do have a really good left tackle. I do believe Abdul Carter is going to be an outstanding pass rusher.
Yeah, really strong.
They're working on trying to build something in New York. I still can't fear them for at least another year or two. I'll keep you updated in real time.
How many concussions the quarterback had this year?
Wait,
He
a
was
couple?
in protocol at least 3 or 4 times.
He's in protocol a bunch. They may just say,
literally.
I mean,
at some point you
he
might
could be two in a year or two.
Yeah, you don't want to.
You don't want to be Tua. You don't want to be.
I'm
Tua
just
in the
saying
NFL.
he's had. I mean, the way his play style is. I mean,
But we we decided as a group to now grade the head coaches in the NFC East. Who is the best head coach in the NFC
Great
East?
idea.
We encourage you in the chat to tell us who's the worst as well. I want to know that. And we've each put together our list just based on the facts of the order of the head coaches in the NFC East. Let's knock it up. Let's get it up there. Let's see. You got them each separately? Who should we start with?
Start with you two.
Which one of us?
Both of y'all.
Which one?
You. Start with you.
You don't ruin it by saying we have the same.
They can't hear.
Let's go with Jesse's
Okay.
head coaching rankings in the
mine
NFC
first.
East. John Harbaugh topping the list immediately with the New York Giants.
Yep.
Dan Quinn in second. Brian Schottenheimer third. And a Super Bowl champion, Nick Sirianni, fourth.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
No.
Just for fun, can you put my list up there, Couchy, real quick? Just could you put Harbaugh, Quinn, Schottenheimer.
And a Super Bowl at 4.
And a Super Bowl 4.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess it's not that crazy. So that is Jeff and Jesse's rankings of the NFC East head coaches. And, I mean, you guys can think we're crazy all you want.
You have an agenda.
No, Jesse and I know ball.
Jesse does not have an agenda.
We
You
know
have an
ball.
agenda.
We know why 4 is 4 for you.
Why?
You have an agenda. I mean,
We know why.
I thought
have
my
an
agenda was
agenda.
against Jalen Hurts. When did I get an agenda against Nick Sirianni?
Your agenda's against the Eagles. Stop it.
Let me just look at this.
That's the Eagles.
If you're an Eagle fan, if our teammates at PHLY are watching, I do want you to know something. Congratulations on having an owner that's willing to let his GM risk the future to try to win Super Bowls now. Congratulations on being able to build a really good team and aggressively fill a need as soon as you have it at all times. Your head coach is worthless. That dude doesn't do anything except try to pretend he's a Philly guy. His whole job is, look at me, I'm tough.
Him and Big Dom.
Him and Big Dom they're the same people. They both coach the exact same. They stand over there and they yell sometimes and they scowl. Who's that? I don't pay attention to his hair. Nick Sirianni is not a head coach. He's just a dude that's there.
Yeah. Players don't like him. They're always arguing with him, fighting with him. His quarterback has regressed. He's done nothing to better this football team.
Bum.
Talk about coaching.
Bum.
He's the worst coach.
What does he coach?
2 Super Bowl teams in the last 4 years.
What's he coach, though?
Doesn't coach a culture. Doesn't have a culture going on. Doesn't build anything.
His culture is,
I'm not going to argue with you guys.
feeling-
You guys are right.
I'm tough.
No.
You guys are right.
And he ain't tough.
You're right.
Jesse could beat up Sirianni tomorrow.
Jesse beats up everybody.
I didn't
He
say
beat
I
all
could.
4
I didn't say I
coaches.
could. I got bad body
You know,
part.
he can whoop all of them.
Anyway, that's
Well,
our
those
list.
coaches?
Yeah.
Trash. Without a shadow of a doubt.
That's our list.
I mean, that's not a.
Dan Quinn got some for you.
Oh, Ted Quinn, and he's a Jersey guy.
Dan Quinn got some for you.
Whoop on
He
Dan
could take
Quinn.
Quinn. He could take Dan. You wouldn't want to take Dan, though.
No,
Like, Dan's
no,
cool.
you don't get no pull for that. I
Jeff has a great
beat up
point.
D'Amico or somebody. You know what I'm saying? Robert Saleh.
Jeff has a great point in the chat to keep in mind as you look at the list that Jesse and I created. 4-1,
Yeah.
picking games.
Oh, that's true.
And then the list of the guys who are a little worse picking games are now going to give you their head coach rankings in the NFC East. Yeah, Ali, Clarence, either one.
Put Ali's up.
Put Ali's out.
Oh, man.
John
Super
Harbaugh,
Bowl,
proven
Super
good head
Bowl.
coach. Nick Sirianni, I'm not sure what he does, but he got him second. And then Quinn, and then Shotty, you doing a little hating.
Wow.
I'm doing hating.
You doing a little hating.
Wow.
And why would you hate?
What am I doing?
Why you hating?
Put Clarence
Why
on
you
there.
hate?
Put Clarence
Why
on
you
there.
hate?
Put Clarence
Why
on there.
you hate?
Put Clarence on there.
Why you
Whoa,
hate?
what is this here? What is this here? What is this here?
Clarence doing a little hating too.
That hate.
And you guys, when's
I'm
the
doing
next time you
I'm-
talk? You must not talk to him for a while.
I'm doing a little math.
How does a ring not mean nothing? Get this dude off the screen.
I'm doing a little math. Some are more
Comparing Trent
experienced.
Dilfer
No, I put the
to
least
Nick
experienced
Sirianni. All right, bro.
Head coach at the bottom.
So you want Pete Carroll? He's got a ring and he's experienced.
I said we're talking about these 4. I put the least experienced head coach at the bottom. We don't know what shot he is in his
Messed
coach
up.
right now.
That's messed up.
Eagles who
They're-
weren't
they're-
good
what, they're
in
7
2020. They hire Sirianni.
9-1.
2 years later, they won a
7-9-1,
Super
right?
Bowl. 4 years later, they won a Super Bowl. Man,
Let's look at them
gets
rosters.
no credit for that whatsoever.
We don't know what shot he is the head coach right now. Walk around office. We don't know he's 7-9.
We don't know either. Yes, we got.
Yeah, but like
So
he
that's
calls
why he
plays.
goes to the bottom.
He calls plays and stuff. Like
They
my thing with
traded-
Sirianni is, I think I'm a little bit better of a head coach than him.
We know Shotty can call plays and have a top 3 offense in the league.
We're talking about the head coach.
I'm just saying.
So
That's one of the attributes that he brings.
I'm not a fan of Sirianni.
What does Sirianni bring to the table?
I don't know. He brings two trips to the Super Bowl to the table. That's what he brings to the table.
I just think I'm a little better.
I'm going off.
Okay, that's fine. And we know the Eagles.
Because I can tell him too. I'd be like, guys,
he brings 2 trips to the Super Bowl
do it good.
to the table, and he didn't mess it up. A lot of coaches didn't mess it up. He didn't mess it up last year.
Last 5 seasons, I'm going off the resume, guys. The resume speaks for itself. Okay, Brian Shaw and I, we just mentioned, like, we got to play this thing out more. Dan Quinn had a good year, first year in Washington, then went backwards. The top 2 on the list, at least, have been the most consistent.
Dan Quinn also has history of going to the Super Bowl with Atlanta, too.
And blowing leads, yeah.
Blowing leads?
Atlanta?
Yeah, he did. He blew a lead.
He was up 28-3.
23.
Well, I understand that, but he also took a team that, to the Super Bowl.
What if Dak was in the Super Bowl up 28-3?
He took 2 different franchises to the NFC Championship game.
He did.
As a head coach. So that's why he's above.
Can I ask
Nick
you a question?
Sirianni's Eagles spanked him in that NFC Championship.
Can I ask you a question I saw in the chat? Would Nick Sirianni make this team better?
No.
That's right. Move him down. Move him down.
Checkmate.
Harbaugh might.
Harbaugh might.
Quinn might.
What does Harbaugh do well?
I don't know. I just think he's a. I think
tell me what Harbaugh does well.
That's a leader of men.
Oh,
Culture.
that's
That's a culture building dude.
You want culture?
Did he?
Harbaugh. 18 years of culture.
He not no culture before. Without. Tell me about his culture after Ray and before Lamar.
I don't know, but I think he's a
He was
real.
about to get fired.
I think he's a real
His
person.
coach was about to get fired.
18 years.
18 years, though. 12
18 years,
dozen
one
playoff
team.
appearances.
Tell me what his culture look. Listen, we can talk.
Wait, don't you have him number 1 on your list?
What's Belichick's culture
I
post-Brady?
agree. I'm just asking a question. And listen, we can nitpick them all.
How's
Very much
Sirianni's
so.
culture? AJ Brown wants to knock him out.
We can nitpick Dan Quinn. We can nitpick them all. Ain't none of them Bill Belichick. And we can nitpick Bill Belichick.
Bill Belichick's the worst on
What's
that
his
list.
culture after Brady?
And we can, we can nitpick
What's
them
his
all.
culture after? What's his culture between Ray and Lamar?
Yeah,
What's Belichick?
exactly. That's what I said. We can nitpick them all. Ain't none of these Bill Belichick. So
You know what I do. I facially profile. Nick Sirianni's a bad guy. That isn't
argument.
That isn't good at
No
anything.
argument. No argument.
He just out
But
there.
if we're going off resume, 3 and 4 done right now.
He just out there.
To be on 1 and 2.
They coach. Nick's just out there. Him and Big Dom are like, you think we look cool today? Like, that's their job. Like, you think we could push a player today?
I wish Jared would have. I mean, because I remember when Nick got hired, no one said this was going to be a great coach. No one thought it was a great hire. They fell into that.
Yeah.
What Jared would fall into somebody like that? How many hires have they had since
Jerry
Jimmy
falls
Johnson?
in the quarterback.
I'm just talking about head coaches.
I'm just saying
fell
he can't
into a
fall in
guy-
everything.
He,
You know what I'm saying?
The goal is to get to the Super Bowl.
I'm just saying, like you gotta take your
Can we
pick.
fall into something like this?
Like-
What do you call?
Can we fall into something? That sound like a line. That sound like a pickup line on a Saturday night for you right there. I'm going out here tonight to fall into something.
Trip
Right.
and fall. Accidentally trip and fall.
Correct. Into a bar.
Back to your
Y'all always put yourself.
Hold on. I'll leave once a piece.
back to your would Sirianni do better with this
Come on.
Cowboy team?
Come on.
Anyway,
Well,
I'm gonna scoot this over.
yeah. Let's
You
go,
can have it
Ali.
back. You can have it back.
Let's go, Ali.
Go ahead.
All right, come get some.
Sirianni do better with Dallas? Well, he has a more competent quarterback in Dallas, so I think, yeah, you blame it on him. Yet we forget.
So he
who's
can
his
do
quarterback.
less. He
He
can
could
talk
do
less.
better with Dak Prescott, yes, as his quarterback compared to having Jalen Hurts. He could do better knowing he has 2 receivers that aren't complaining left and right like AJ Brown does.
Yeah, me too. I'll do good. Dak, what plays you like?
No.
Run them things.
Sirianni is not the issue in Philly. It's number 1.
Yeah. Something that came up. Another coach, Mike Tomlin, quit, right?
Yeah.
Apparently, Aaron
Facially
Rodgers,
profiling, though. That's a leader of men.
apparently, Aaron Rodgers cried and apologized to Tomlin.
About how bad he is.
Yeah,
He's 50.
cried and apologized.
He's 50.
Did that cry to Mike
And then he
McCarthy?
ran to the Rogan podcast to keep talking about vaccines in the year of our Lord 2026. It's 2026, y'all. We're done. We're done.
Who are the Cowboys going to cry to Jared that didn't get it done? Who going to cry to Mike McCarthy and Jason Garrett and that I'm sorry to get it done for? Who going to cry when if Brian Schottenheimer doesn't get it done? Who's going to cry and say, damn, coach, I'm sorry?
It should be Jerry. Because, I mean, we talked about the Texans' defense today. The Texans haven't invested, significantly more than the Cowboys into their defense. They got 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, 4 free agents that make reasonable money. 2 of them are super cheap. Like, they've done the same thing everybody else does. They've just done a better job of identifying the right guys. And I think for the Cowboys, that's harder because it gets cloudy. Because Jerry just asks everyone. And you got to chill out. And just get the best players. We'll be in good shape. We can do like Sirianni, win the Super Bowl because we have a better team than everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for stopping by. Remember, you have no idea what anybody's going through. Be cool to everybody. We love you. Be easy.
Eliminate the contingencies.
We all silly like the mayor.